Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now May 26th of 2021. Now, just a couple of days ago, we went over how both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are going to have a major meeting on May 27th. That is tomorrow with the higher-ups over at Disney. We're talking about the board members, of course, the Disney CEO, Bob Chapek himself, on discussing Gina Carano's return and exactly what's going to happen with all of that. That's going to be a big decision that we're going to find out more about throughout the entire summer. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Also, make sure to check me out on Twitter at Mike01. Now, looking at everything ahead with the future of the Star Wars franchise, they already have tons of Star Wars projects currently in the works. They've got shows like Rangers of the New Republic. They've got other shows out there that are being reformed right now as well. You know, given that Rangers was canceled, it is now being reformed into something brand new. So the Kenobi series, the Andor series, those are both in production as well. And we're also looking forward to the Ahsoka Tano series, starring Rosario Dawson. Now, with that being said, of course, what's really exciting all has to do with exactly what's going on with Jon and Dave. Jon and Dave recently got promotions over at Lucasfilm to take more creative power over at the company. Basically, they're more so in charge over projects that they are not writing and or directing, or having a lot of creative power over the video games, the books, comics, and novels, you name it. That's really going to steer Star Wars in the right direction without a doubt. Now, if we focus on what's been going on with Gina Carano the past couple of days, there's been a very big development over at Lucasfilm. Of course, we obviously know that it's going to be a big mystery on whether or not Gina is going to accept the offer of coming back into the Mandalorian series if she's given the opportunity post May 27th. We'll have to see and how she reacts and all. But with that being said, with Rangers of the New Republic now canceled, Disney and Lucasfilm are focusing on other projects that involve Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, while they continue to work on bringing back Star Wars Legends to the mix for the entire fandom. Now, it's described, however, that since the Gina Carano firing, many fans have been up in arms over how Lucasfilm handled the entire situation. However, on May 27th, both Jon and Dave will engage in a major meeting with Disney's higher-ups to discuss a plan to rehire her. It's described that in a recent interview with a Lucasfilm spokesperson about Gina Carano's firing, the spokesperson was eventually questioned about Gina coming back into the Star Wars universe. Now, the spokesperson went on to say that she knows that both Jon and Dave are going to be talking with Disney to discuss the big decision on whether or not they would want to bring her back into the franchise. The spokesperson continued to state that there are many over at Lucasfilm, specifically Lucasfilm employees, that wants Gina Carano rehired into the Star Wars universe, and though I am not at liberty to say who those employees are, they are very high up over at Lucasfilm that really want Gina Carano back to portray Cara Dune in the Star Wars universe, and that those employees have been trying to convince Kathleen Kennedy to also have a talk with Disney to bring back Gina, as it is only good for business in the long run. Now, additionally, separate from all of this, behind the scenes, it's best explained that many of the employees that want Gina back are the very ones that convinced both Jon and Dave to have a meeting with Disney in the first place on May 27th to bring her back into the Star Wars universe. Kathleen Kennedy, as of now, is said to be against all of this and does not want to support Gina Carano in any way, shape, or form, and that those particular employees are the ones that were responsible for making Jon and Dave come up with the idea of having this major meeting with Disney's higher-ups. So let's just focus on something here that I think is very important that a lot of fans need to know, is that it was the Lucasfilm employees that pushed for all of this to happen, of what's going to happen tomorrow between Jon, Dave, the Disney board members, Bob Chapek, etc. That is all because a ton of Lucasfilm employees want Gina Carano back in action. They want her back into the Mandalorian series. They want her attached to other Star Wars TV shows. Whatever it may be, they want her back in action for the overall Star Wars franchise. And the fact that Lucasfilm, as a company, wants her back is a big deal. Sure, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't want her back, but there's a lot of employees that want her back to portray different characters or the same character that she was introduced as in The Mandalorian. Now, Obviously, I said this before in the beginning of this video, if she's given the opportunity, I'm not so certain if she's going to accept that, offer. It really is going to be a very interesting process to see what happens throughout the summer when we learn more about this officially, about, the decision between John, Dave, and the higher-ups over at Disney, and what they actually decided on, and if that offer is going to be given to Gina, and if so, will she accept coming back into the Star Wars universe? Now, if I were in her shoes, I probably would not want to come back, but part of me would want to just because I would want to make the fans happy, if that makes sense. Almost like you're doing it for the fans, but you're not doing it for them as a company, like Lucasfilm, or Disney for that matter. So, I think it's a very interesting development right now, the fact that it was the Lucasfilm employees that pushed for John and Dave to really bring Gina back into the equation here. Now, let's also focus on another aspect here. Given that John and Dave recently got major promotions over at Lucasfilm of being, pretty much in charge of who they want to rehire or hire onto the Star Wars universe, they should have no problem after this meeting of bringing this major decision up to Gina Carano. And I think that there's a great possibility that this could very well turn for the best for the fans, that maybe Gina Carano will accept coming back into the Star Wars universe for Mando Season 3 and or 4. We'll have to wait and see. But like always, guys, when we go ahead and examine Kathleen Kennedy, she's still working on that Acolyte TV show. I've said this many times before in the past that I just don't believe it's going to be a hit. I don't believe it's going to be a success for multiple different reasons out there. And I've gone over that already, but Gina Carano, it's going to be a very interesting series of events throughout June, July, and August when we learn more and more about this major meeting that's happening tomorrow on May 27th. This is going to be a big day for Gina herself as an actress and how she's affiliated with Star Wars. It's going to determine whether or not she really has a shot at coming back to Star Wars or not. And like I say, guys, it's a very interesting process because, well, a lot of fans have been up in arms over this. They've been demanding her to return, and it seems like that Disney is beginning to cave. If they were really pretty much non-negotiating, if it was a non-negotiable thing with Gina Carano, they wouldn't have actually even had this meeting to begin with. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.